What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So today we're going to talk about when are the stimulus checks coming. So I know everyone wants to know, when are we going to start receiving our checks? And so we're going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk about the defense spending bill. Now, the president, he vetoed the defense spending bill, and today there is a vote. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the $2,000 stimulus check. What's going on with that? Is that still in play? We're going to talk about that. Unemployment benefits, there's been a delay. We're going to talk about that delay. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification. That way you get notified anytime we put out a video. Okay, so before we get started, now that the bill has been signed, things are going to start rolling out really fast. And that's why it's important for you to subscribe and hit the bell notification, because then you'll get notified. And the beauty of social media is we can interact with each other. So if someone's receiving checks, I can let you know, you know what? The people on SSI or SSDI, they started receiving their checks. So you might want to look in the mail if you're on SSI or SSDI. And so that's the beauty. The last time that's the way it happened. When the CARES Act was signed, stuff started rolling out really fast. We were able to let people know exactly what was going on because we were talking to people that were all around the country that were receiving checks and things like that. Make sure you are subscribed and hit the little bell notification. If you just subscribe and you don't hit the bell notification, you're not going to get notified every time that I put out a video. All right, so now that's out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at our calendar here. So let me squeeze this down here. All right, so this is our calendar. This is pretty much what we're looking at when it comes to the next week. All right, and we're going to keep looking at this calendar because I think this is really helpful. At least it helps me kind of put things together. Okay, so looking at the 28th. So we know the president signed the bill on the 27th. So looking at the 28th, these are the things that are going to be happening today. So we have the defense spending bill, override vetoes. We talked about that. So the defense spending bill, that's a separate bill. The president did veto that. And so now what's going to happen is you're going to have Congress try to override this veto. So we're going to be looking at that, and I will keep you up to date when it comes to that as well. That's very important. I mean, it's the security of our country, so we need to have the funding there. The $2,000 stimulus check vote, that will happen in the House today. So the House will vote on the $2,000 stimulus checks. Now, I don't know exactly how they're going to do this. I don't know if they're going to say $1,400 now because we already have $600 coming. That would probably be the better way to go about it, because if you do the $2,000 and if people are already starting to receive the $600 stimulus check, how are you going to handle that? So I would imagine it's going to be a $1,400 check, not a $2,000 stimulus check that they'll be voting on in the House today. So we'll see. It'll probably pass the House. Now, the Senate, that's a whole nother story. We're going to have to see what happens when it comes to the Senate. Now, let's talk about unemployment benefits. So it looks like unemployment benefits, you're going to lose a week. Okay, because of the delay. The president didn't sign right away, so you're going to lose a week. So instead of the 11 weeks, it's going to be 10 weeks. However, I would imagine that President-elect Joe Biden, when he does become president, that's going to be one of the things that he's going to focus on. We're going to have another stimulus package, hopefully, and it will probably tack on some more week. It'll extend it longer. So that might not even come into play. But as of right now, that's the way it looks. Okay, so now let's get to the good stuff. Let's talk about the stimulus check. So usually they'll process everything. They'll have everything ready to go in December, but January is where we need to really look at this. And we know this because the Treasury Secretary, he says that he can get them out in 1 week. No problem. He can get them out 1 week. So if that's the case, when we're looking at this calendar, it looks like Monday is when they will start depositing the checks, the direct deposit checks. And it usually doesn't hit people's bank accounts until that Wednesday. And that's been the pattern. Now, we don't know exactly who is going to be receiving checks right away. Like, we don't know, is it going to be people who file their taxes in 2018, 2019? Are they going to be the first people? If we're looking at the CARES Act, that's the way they rolled it out with the CARES Act. However, they can go the reverse route because they have all that information already. So, and I think that's the way to go. Do it reverse order. People on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad Retirement, veterans beneficiaries, send it to them first. That's the way that I would want it to go. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how they roll things out. But next week on the 6th, that's when you can expect people to start receiving checks. And that's good news for a lot of people that have been waiting for 7-8 months now for another stimulus package. At least something's coming. That $600 will come. And then when we're looking at the additional funding, that's going to have to go through Congress. It's going to be a standalone bill. So that $1,400 stimulus check or the $2,000 stimulus check, however they draft it, that's going to be separate. And so that's going to have to go through the House, which hopefully it will pass the House today, and then go over to the Senate, and we'll have to see what happens in the Senate. We do know that there are some senators, some Republican senators that do not want another stimulus check. And so that's going to be a fight. That's going to be a fight. We'll have to see what they do with that. We do know that in the Georgia runoff, those two Republican senators, they're going to be watching them closely. Are they going to vote against another stimulus check? And so you might have two votes right there when it comes down to trying to get the majority. You need 60 votes in order to make a filibuster proof. But if you do have the majority, you can still move forward. So if you get that 51 votes that you will need, you can still move forward. Or even in the sense, if you get 50, how is that going to work? If you get 50, because now you have President Trump saying, I want $2,000 stimulus checks. Okay, here's your $2,000 stimulus checks. How is the vice president going to, because the vice president can weigh in that situation. He's the tiebreaker. How is he going to weigh in on that? He's going to say, okay, yeah, you know what? We want 2,000, and so we're going to move forward. So things are going to we're really going to see a lot happening in the coming weeks. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, bell notification, make sure you click that as well. But right now, we're looking at about a week before people will start receiving their checks. And so I think that's really good news. If you guys have any questions or comments, post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.